welcome to Jars to Table, meal ideas in under 15 minutes for those of us that preserve our food ourselves through various different mediums. So today is the super quick meal, and this explains to you all why we can and dehydrate, because once it's up to winter, everything cooking is so much easier. So let's start off then. First tip. So with the rice, my dad always taught me, you make a big batch of rice kind of the day before, and if you can see, I make a big ton of it, and I eat it over the next couple of days, but it is super loose and it gives it an opportunity to dry. Okay, so the first thing to do then is get your lard, a nice big tablespoon or however much lard you need for the rice that you've cooked. And as soon as that has reached sort of bubbly point, then we're going to put the rice in straight away. Never put rice in a semi-cold pan. All you're doing is cooking it, sort of steaming it rather than frying it. Right, so now the pan is hot enough. We're now just going to just dump all of the rice in, and you can fry it all up in one go and have some fried rice the next day. You just have to add a tablespoon of or two of water, and it will rehydrate it. But so now we can set the timer for 10 minutes, because what we're about to do next, it only takes 10 minutes. That went off. I've got a ridiculously close fire alarm. So that curry powder has had an opportunity to cook through, so we shouldn't get any tummy problems. I've added the garlic and the onion. Now I'm going to add a little bit of one of the chicken cans of ugly chicken. Stick that in. Then I'm going to add some other veg. In this instance it's runner beans, French slim beans, some fenugreek, a bit of celery, and some coriander. Stir the rice, keep stirring that and it will get fluffier and fluffier. Then we're going to add the other chicken water and the rest of the ugly chicken. And at this point you've got to be careful, because you don't want to now stir too much. I'm going to add hot water. You want to make sure that all of the veg is above, the water is above all the veg and the meat, but you don't want to stir too much now, because all you want to do is boil the contents for 10 minutes. I then don't worry about botulism. My boys are a bit funny about onions, which is why I added the onion powder. I'm just going to put in a few of some spring onions though, because I had some left. Got some ugly chicken in one of the cans. Go back and stir the rice. So the rice and the contents of the curry just need 10 minutes. You want this boiling, And then after 10 minutes we're going to do a taste test. This is the curry powder that I use, Jamaican. Right, we're 2 minutes before it goes off. I'm putting some extra lard in. You could use butter if you prefer, because I want a nice glistening. I haven't stirred it, I've just let it boil for 10 minutes, and it's a hard bottomed pot, so I know it won't burn on the bottom. But it's nice to have a nice sort of glistening curry, so that's why you add the butter or the lard. Want that to sink in. The reason why I don't stir it too much is because ugly chicken shreds and I don't want it to shred. So that's my washing up, 3 jars. I'm going to very slightly thicken it. There's the 10 minutes. I'm going to slightly thicken it. I don't want it too thick. Sometimes we make things too thick. But I'm just going to put some chicken gravy in and just give that a stir without trying to disrupt it too much, but I still want it to cook through. I'll put the heat on again. I won't want to put any more than kind of a level tablespoon. I'm just going to let that bubble for 2 minutes and then it will have incorporated into it. Everything has been boiled for 10 minutes, so there's no botulism. And we're ready to serve up. I nearly forgot. A splash of lemon juice. What was I thinking? The lemon juice adds everything. Here we go. So the secret when doing this is make sure that your rice is cooked the day before. Definitely, I would say in the morning. And then you're just reheating the rice. It's what we do in the UK, and you have got the quickest chicken curry for your family in 15 minutes. Hope you try it. Right, so it's the next day, and it's what to do with the remainder that we didn't use of the chicken curry. And with my rice, I've not got enough. This is what I always do. It's a bit of my own version of a biryani. So what I do is take out a 1 litre jar of potatoes into a hot frying pan with butter and lard. Now I have drained it, but there's water, okay, but don't worry about that. I drained as much as I could and plonked them into hot lard and butter. With that I put a 500 milliliter of my swede and parsnips and carrots, and I'm just going to leave that for the time being to let that water evaporate, and we're going to fry this. Once it's bone dry and there's just the fat, I'll probably add some more, and then we're going to add the rice to it and add a bit more curry powder. Well, I'll add a bit more curry powder actually in a minute, and then we add this last. It's going to be delicious. Right, almost all the waters began to disappear, and so I've added some more butter and more lard. I like the mixture of lard and butter ratio, really, 50-50. Now you don't want to stir this too much, but I just wanted to mix in some of that fat. I'm just going to let that sit again. At this point because I was told to let curry powder definitely cook a bit. I'm just putting that on top. Now obviously whatever you've got that's canned, obviously just put it in, you know, whatever you like. But once this looks nice and crispy and there's definitely all of the water has gone, then I'm going to add the rice. I want these to develop a little bit of a crust, and that's why I'm not touching it. So if you're a little bit tempted, you could just lift one up, but no, not yet. Don't touch it, don't stir. Can you see how waiting just those 5 minutes while we had developed a bit of a crust there, how it's well worth it. So as soon as I've got the same sort of crust everywhere else, then I'm adding the rice. The rice is in. The potatoes are beautiful and brown, but they're still soft because we canned them, so they're lovely and soft on the inside. They've been cooking in all of that butter. So we're heating the rice through now. You've got a bit of contrast between the rice and some nice toasty potatoes, but they're not dry because they're canned, and so canned potatoes are never going to be, oh, trying to get that in. Oh, it looks so nice. Really good crust anyway. So I'm going to just stir that to get it thoroughly mixed in, and try not to stir it too much. Leave it for a few minutes, not long, because we're only having to heat the rice through. That's all we're needing to do. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the leftover chicken curry that we had last night. We're going to put it straight on top, because actually it's difficult. I do this without thinking about it, so when it comes to saying, okay, how do I do with my leftovers, I just tend to do it rather than think about it. So that's slowly starting the process of heating through, and the rice is heating through. I don't need to add any salt because the salt is generally in my potatoes, and the salt is in the butter as well. So I think I'll turn it over now. And really what I'm after is a chicken biryani. That's where I'm heading. It's not claggy because the potatoes are dry and the rice is dry, so it's all still very much, it's going to be lovely. Right, okay, I'm going to just leave it there for a few minutes. Right, so that is it. My version of a prepper's biryani, leftovers from the curry that we had yesterday.